Hello everyone. In this video, we can see various systems of power transmission. In 1982, the generation was with direct current. Then the system is moved on to alternating current with the invention of Tesla's alternating current generators. Then now by the introduction of power electronic converters, the system is again moving back to DC system. So both AC and DC systems have lot of advantages. First we can see which are the systems and we can compare the different systems. In DC system, we have DC 2-wire, DC 2-wire with midpoint earth, DC 3-wire, etc. And in the AC system, we have single phase, 2-phase and 3-phase AC system. And it can be 2-wire or 3-wire or 4-wire system. And also the transmission can be done by overhead or underground transmission system. First, we can compare DC and AC transmission system. First one is DC transmission. For some past years, the transmission was done by DC and there are a lot of advantages with DC. The first advantage is it requires only 2 conductors as compared for 3 conductors in AC transmission system. And there is no inductance, capacitance or phase displacement and surge problems in DC transmission. Due to the absence of inductance, voltage drop in DC transmission line is less. So we can improve the voltage regulation. And in AC system there will be effect of skin. Skin effect will be there and it is absent in DC system. The current will be concentrated more on the surface of the conductor in case of AC system, but it will be uniformly distributed in case of a DC system. And the potential stress on the insulator will be less in case of DC for the same working voltage. So the insulation requirement is also less. A DC line has less corona effect and the frequency is 0. It reduces the interference with communication circuits. And also the high voltage DC transmission is free from dielectric losses and it will be particular in case of cables. In DC transmission there is no stability problems as frequency remains constant. There is no synchronizing issues or stability problems. Then the main disadvantage of DC system is electrical power cannot be generated at high DC voltages. We will be using alternators for generation. It can produce high AC voltages. While we are generating high DC voltages, there will be sparking in commutators. There will be problem in commutation. The DC voltage cannot be stepped up or stepped down using transformers. Transformer will work only when there is a change in current or there will be some frequency. Here the frequency is 0 and the transformer will not work at DC. But now boost converters or power electronic converters are available for changing the voltage level. But at high voltage levels, the researches are going on. The DC switches and circuit breakers have their own limitations. Now, here also the researchers are going on. Now we can see AC transmission. Now all the electrical supply systems are AC transmission systems. We can generate high voltages, high power at high voltages by using alternators. And maintenance of AC substations is easy and cheaper compared to DC. And AC voltage can be stepped up or stepped down by using transformers. The main disadvantage is an AC line requires more copper as the number of conductors is more than DC. It requires more copper. the construction of AC transmission line is more complicated than DC. And also there is skin effect, and there is this effect of capacitance. Even if there is no load in the system, the charging current due to the capacitance in the line causes a drop in the system. Now we can compare the conductor material used in an overhead system. Before comparing the conductor material used in different types of systems, we can have some assumptions made. We are considering that the same power is transmitted by each system. The distance over which power transmitted remains same, and the losses in each case are same, and the maximum voltage between any conductor and earth is same in each case. So, first we can see two-wire DC system with one conductor earth. We are going to compare the volume of conductor material in different types of system with respect to the first system. The first system is two-wire DC system with one conductor earth. We are taking this as the reference system. Here two conductors are there and second conductor is earth. The current through the conductor or the system is I1 and the voltage is Vm. Maximum voltage between the conductors is Vm. The power to be transmitted is P. Then the load current, as it is DC, load current I equal to P by V, P equal to VI, P by Vm. Here it is taken as I1 for considering the first system. I1 equal to P by Vm. If R1 is the resistance of the conductor, then R1 equal to rho L by A1. A1 is the area of the conductor. 1 represents first system. A1 is the area of cross section of the conductor. We know that line losses are given by I square R. Since there are two conductors, it is 2I square R. 2I1 square R1. Substitute for I1 as P by 2M and R1 as rho L by A1. Then from this equation we can find the value of A1 as 2P square rho L by W into Vm square. So volume of conductor material required is volume of a conductor cylinder is area of cross section into length, A1 into L. As there are two conductors, it is equal to 2A1 into L. 2 into substitute for A1, 2P square rho L by W into Vm square into L. So it is 4P square rho L square by W Vm square. First we are representing this value as K. The volume of conductor material required is K. Now we are comparing the next system with the reference system or the first system with two wires with second conductor earth. Now we have two-wire DC system with midpoint earth. Here also there will be only two conductors, but the midpoint, here there is an earth connection. Midpoint of the system connection is earth. Here there are, as the midpoint is earth, there are two voltages Vm and Vm. Then total voltage across the conductors is 2 Vm. So load current I2 equal to P by 2 Vm. So let area of cross section of the conductor be A2 for the second system. Then line losses equal to 2I2 square R2. There are two conductors, so 2I2 square R2. Substitute for I2 as P by 2 Vm and A2 as rho L, R2 as rho L by A2. Then W equal to P square rho L by 2A2 Vm square or A2 equal to P square rho L by 2W Vm square. Then the volume of conductor material required is 2 into A2L. Two conductors are there, so 2 into A2L. Substitute for A2. Then we will get an equation. As we have seen here, for P square rho L square by W Vm square is written as K. Here it is equal to K by 4. That means while we are using a two-wire DC system with midpoint earth, the volume of conductor required is 1 by 4 times the volume of conductor required in a 2-wire DC system with one conductor earthed. Now we can see the third system with 3-wire DC system. Here in the midpoint we have a neutral conductor. In the last system the midpoint is earth but there is no conductor. Here a neutral conductor is provided at the midpoint. So the voltage is same as 2 Vm, current is P by 2 Vm. The losses are 2 I3 square R3. Substitute for I3 as P by 2 Vm. Then we will get the value of W, and then from the value of W find the value of A3. Here the neutral conductor is is a function as earth conductor. It will not carry any current, so there will not be any losses to be considered in the central conductor. As when the current is balanced, current in the neutral wire is 0. So power loss is 2 into I3 square R3, and the area of cross section of neutral wire is taken as half of the outer wires. So there are 3 conductors. One conductor is having area 1, second is also 1, and the neutral is having 0.5. So total volume is 2.5 into A3L. Substitute for A3, then we will get the equation as 5 by 16 K. That means the volume of conductor is 5 by 16 times the volume of conductor used in a 2-wire DC system. Next we can see AC system. Single phase 2-wire AC system with one conductor earthed. While we are considering the AC system, we have to take the RMS voltage and we have to consider the power factor angle cos phi also. So the maximum voltage here is Vm. The power equation is Vi cos phi, where V is RMS value of the voltage. RMS voltage is given as Vm by root 2. So current is P by Vm by root 2 into cos phi. Cos phi is the power factor angle. So root 2 P by Vm cos phi. Then line losses, there are 2 conductors. So 2 I4 square R4 is the line losses. Substitute for I4 and R4, rho L by A4, and find the value of A4. Then the volume of conductor material is 2 into A4 into L. Substitute for that, and then we will get it as 2K by cos square phi. If cos phi is 1, power factor is 1, the conductor material required is 2 times the conductor required in DC system. It also depends on the power factor of the system. Next case is single phase 2-wire system with midpoint earthed. While the midpoint is earthed, here also the voltage, here the voltage is 2 Vm, but that voltage is the maximum value. So the RMS value of voltage is 2 Vm by root 2, that is root 2 Vm. So load current I5 is P by root 2 Vm into cos phi. Then line losses are, there are only 2 conductors, 2 I5 square into R5, substitute for I5 and find the value of A5. Then the volume of conductor is 2 A5 into L, substitute the values, then we will get as K by 2 into cos square phi. Now we have single phase 3-wire system. Single phase line with another wire, neutral wire at the center. Here also the output voltage is 2 Vm is the maximum value. RMS value is 2 Vm by root 2 is root 2 Vm. Load current is P by root 2 Vm cos phi. As the load is balanced, when we are taking the load as balanced load, the current through the neutral wire is 0. So there is no losses in the neutral wire. So the line losses is 2 times I6 square R6. Substitute for I6 and R6 Then find the value of area of cross section A6, and while we are considering the area, we are considering that neutral wire is having half the area of other conductors. So total volume is 1 plus 1 plus half, that is 2.5 A6L. Substitute for A6, then we will get it as 5K by 8 cos square phi. Now we have two-phase system. Two-phase system with 4 wires. Here it is like a two single-phase system, each having half the power of total system power. So maximum voltage across two, here A and B form a single-phase system, and C and D form another single-phase system. Both combines together forms two-phase system. So maximum voltage at the outputs of A and B. A and B is 2 Vm. RMS value is 2 Vm by root 2 is root 2 Vm. Power supplied is P by 2 per phase. There are two single phases, so per phase is P by 2. So load current is P by 2 by root 2 Vm cos phi. Then line losses is, there are 4 wires, so 4 into I7 R7. So substitute for I7, then we can find the value of A7. The volume of conductor material required is, substitute for A7, then we will get it as K by 2 into cos square phi. Now we have two-phase system with 3 wires. So 2 wires and there will be a neutral wire. The third or neutral wire is taken from the junction of two-phase winding whose voltages are in quadrature with each other. Obviously, each phase transmits one half of the total power. RMS voltage between outgoing conductor and the neutral wire is Vm. Vm by root 2. Maximum value is Vm and the RMS value is Vm by root 2 between a conductor and the neutral. So current in the outer conductor is I8. Both currents are flowing back to neutral through the neutral wire. So current in the neutral wire is root of vector sum of I8 and I8. Root of I8 square into root of I8 square, that is root 2 into I8. I8 is P by 2. The power transferred in one phase is P by 2. P by 2 by Vm by root 2 into cos phi. P by root 2 Vm cos phi. Current in neutral wire is root 2 into I8. So resistance of neutral wire is half of the R8 by root 2. As the area of cross section is root 2 times neutral wire, so it has to carry more current. So the area of cross section of neutral conductor is root 2 times the outer conductors. So resistance will be R8 by root 2. So here we are considering outer conductors and neutral conductors separately. So line losses W equal to 2 I8 square R8 plus root 2 I8 square into R8 by root 2. So I8 square R8 into 2 plus root 2. While solving, we will get the equation for W and we can find the value of A8. Here volume of the conductor material is also taken separately for outer conductors and neutral conductor. For outer conductor it is 2 A8 into L. Neutral conductor it is root 2 A8 into L. Then while substituting A8 we will get it as 1.457 by cos square phi into K. Next is a 3-phase 3-wire system. In case of 3-phase 3-wire system, RMS voltage per phase is Vm by root 2. Power transmitted per phase will be P by 3. So I9 is P by 3 into Vm by root 2 into cos phi. We know that in a 3-phase system, power equal to root 3 VL IL cos phi or 3 V phase I phase cos phi. So here we are taking phase values. So P by 3 by Vm by root 2 into cos phi. root 2 P by 3 Vm cos phi. Now we can have line losses as 3 I9 square R9. Substitute for I9 and find the value of A9, and the volume of conductor material is 3 times, there are 3 conductors, 3 A9 L, that is 0.5 by cos square phi into K. Now here we have 3-phase 4-wire system. In 4-wire system there will be a neutral conductor also. In case of fourth or neutral wire, area of cross section of neutral wire is generally 1/2 of the line conductor. So half the area is considered. So as the assuming loads are balanced with power factor of cos phi, line losses is same as 3-phase 3-wire system, 2p square rho L by 3a10 Vm square cos square phi. A10 can be found out, and volume of conductor material is 3.5 A10 into L. 3 conductors and neutral conductor is having half the area. So 3.5 A10 L. While solving the equation, we will get it as 7 by 12 cos square phi into K. So we have compared different types of systems with respect to a DC system with 2 conductors. While comparing we can decide the conductor material used and the cost of the conductors required can be compared in different types of systems. The main part of the transmission system or cost of the system is decided by the conductor. So volume of conductor selection is important parameter while constructing a power transmission system. Thank you.